He's the smooth talking, jive walking, chai drinking, organic banana eating, the one and only, your favorite morning host. It is Adam Josh.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the Morning Banana Show. Today is January the 7th, 2025. My name is Adam Josh. This is a banana from Madeira, Portugal. And I'm here in the hillside of the Algarve at Love Farm Stay for the Morning Banana Show number 204. I have an orange from up the road that we picked the other day. One of the best oranges I've ever had. And there's a French press here and some creamer, vegan creamer that I mix up with cinnamon. In the French press is just dark roast and purified water heated up. And I have a papaya here that I picked from our friends, a green papaya that I picked from our friend's farm in Tavira called Orchard of Flavors. And if you think this is crazy, it's a green papaya, but if you think this is crazy, you should see how they grow. They grow on the tree. Like it's nuts. And there's so many of them that he doesn't know what to do with them. So Miguel convinced us actually to grow papaya. So you might notice that there's some new decorations on the set. Shout out to Vegan Ellie in Lagos, or Lagos, Lagos. It's a town that is past Portimao in the Algarve. And we went to Vegan Ellie restaurant and vegan shopping once. And we sat at this table and fell in love with it. And we heard some sad news that for some personal reasons, the owner had to shut down the store and was kind of selling off all the things. So we went and we picked up this table. I really should be pouring myself a coffee right now while we get into it, but I was just thinking you might notice that, so get that out of the way. So the price was right. And now we have this nice red table and 2 chairs. She also had black ones and gray ones, if you're interested. I don't know if she still has them for sale. It's early morning. The sun is probably just rising up behind me. We've got our kids off to school, but they start school here early. So I think it's 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. around there. Look at that froth. I mean, that's hard to find a good vegan creamer that'll froth like that. So first sip. Well, let's get into it. I mean, off the top, I guess we can talk about Trudeau resigning. As a Canadian passport holder, somebody who was born in Canada and lived most of my life in Canada, I feel like people inevitably will be reaching out to me for my opinion, so maybe I'll just send them this link, to this show. Justin Trudeau is the son of Pierre Trudeau, who was prime minister. We tell our kids that, anyone can be the leader, anyone can be prime minister. But the facts are the facts, and it seems more like a nepotistic rule. And when you really get into it, you realize that the royal family of England, they colonized so many different places. Not greatest of which is Canada. I mean, they have their largest overseas land holdings would be in the Antarctic. But they colonized all different types of places like Australia, New Zealand, India at some point, Pakistan at some point. The British Empire was everywhere, colonizing everywhere. So, Canada is just one of their colonial empires. When you travel the world, you start to notice these things. And they have a really specific type of governance and leadership style that's worked for them which is to have a governor general in each one of their colonies representing the crown to the people and to the government. And then they have their different styles of parliament and different political leadership that is supposed to represent the people to the crown. And there are certain cases where the governor general or the royal family dissolves or prorogues parliament. And so in a case like that, where the government is being prorogued or dissolved, you really have to question the quote unquote ceremonial nature of the crown. This is a lutein supplement I'm taking. I'm trying a new theory of 1 in the morning and 1 at night. We'll see. Yeah, so like I've been to Nassau and to some of the Bahama Islands and the British Virgin Islands, and the Queen's face back then when I was there was on her money. I'm sure the King will eventually have his own face printed on currency if he hasn't done that already. I'm not up to date with all that stuff. And being in some other realm like Portugal where I'm at, or Spain, you start to see, okay, this is just how they do it, and it's different here, and everyone seems to know outside of Canada that it is a colonial empire vassal of many of the British Empire, indirectly ruled through the Governor General, and then the rest of the politics is kind of like the prison cell, or the prison and guards and all the inner workings, which the royal family doesn't really have to get too involved with. They just have their Governor General as their main man. And now with the internet, it's probably a lot easier than it was back in the day when they first set up this style of government through their colonies. Look all this up yourself, as always. I'm not making stuff up. But it gives a lot of butthurt for independent Canadians, especially the ones who have lived most of their lives along the southern border of Canada and getting their information and media from America, who had an Independence Day in 1776. We somehow in Canada, by osmosis, think that we've had an Independence Day. Canadians will point to the fact that we have a Charter of Rights and Freedoms and all these things that are just pieces of paper that don't affect the reality that Canada is a colony. All of that to say that the Prime Minister is, I think, a very on the totem pole of power, not the highest power position for Canada. I think that the fact that his own wife couldn't stand him, all the different scandals that he was involved with as a teacher, and the upcoming cases against him that will be coming out shortly. I think the upcoming elections where he knew he would lose, and being a textbook narcissist, I feel like he made the correct decision to get out now, because you can't fire somebody who quits. Textbook narcissism. He wants to ride off into the sunset. The guy bought enough doses into 2024 and boosters during the pandemic, which tells you everything about how he thinks and where his incentives and loyalties are. There's famous videos of him bragging about, buying boosters into the 2024. So this guy was planning way ahead to just be an indefinite pandemic. Outside of all that, his corruption scandals with SNC Lavalin, handing out sweetheart deals and contracts to his friends in Montreal, and the ongoing confusion surrounding the Barry and Honey Sherman case, and the fundraising that tied them to the Liberal Party, and the conflict of interest that he had with them and Apotex, which was a creator of hydroxychloroquine. I feel like there's a lot of unanswered questions about Trudeau, and there's corruption afoot in Canada. It's not maybe as blatant as in third world countries or in undeveloped countries in Europe or Asia, but nevertheless, corruption abounds in Canada. And so for Chrystia Freeland to resign a few weeks ago, and for now the Prime Minister Trudeau to resign, I think that it's telling and no coincidence. And I feel like for the guy who called a large portion of working Canadians and tax-paying Canadians fringe minorities, I feel like it's ironic that he has become a fringe minority of his own party and of the political leadership in Canada, to the point where he's not even going to be the Prime Minister anymore. So go figure. All of that to say, he was an up-and-coming World Economic Forum leader, and I feel like he will be replaced by yet another globalist World Economic Forum upcoming leader. So I'm not going to hold my breath that Canada, because of all the things I've already mentioned about how it's governed, I'm not going to hold my breath waiting for Canada to turn into something that it's not and that it can't be. What do you want? What do you want Canada to be? I think Canada has a great reputation around the world, as evidenced by the fact that when I was in England, I remember, explaining to people that I am a Canadian and I'm not an American, and they were like, okay, he's not an American. We don't have to beat him up. So I enjoy the good reputation of Canadians around the world. And also I think that I demonstrate what a good Canadian is around the world. I don't drink, I don't swear, I don't do drugs, I don't fap, I don't watch porn. I am a traveler of the world by all definition. And, I'm here on Love Farms Day working towards a more sustainable future as a visionary, as a luminary, as a musician, as someone who is educated. So I feel like I'm a good example of what a Canadian is. I have political disagreements with the Liberal Party, with Canada and how it's run, and I think that speaks to the nature of Canada, and that we as Canadians are allowed to have political discourse openly without some type of retributionary style pursuing of political enemies. But I think that the law is the law and nobody should be above the law. So let's see what happens with Justin Trudeau. I mean, I'm not the one handing out these sweetheart deals to SNC-Lavalin, which you can look up yourself. I'm not the one buying, 100 million doses of booster juice into 2024. So what type of kickbacks is a guy like that getting from Big Pharma? A lot of kickbacks, I would imagine. They say the wage for him would be something like 300,000 Canadian dollars, which is just poppycock. We all know he's getting paid and has been given more than that. I would rather not this entire morning banana show be about my political opinions about Canada. I think it's obvious, me sitting here in Portugal in the Algarve, how I feel about the political situation in Canada, and which is why people are going to reach out to me asking me my opinion. But this is the same government that, demonized the trucker convoy, which I had many people and friends that were a part of. I knew people whose bank accounts were restricted or turned off, basically. Computer says no. The people and protesters were attacked. Some of their kids were taken away, because they were protesting in Ottawa when it was cold, and the Ottawa police had this point of like, well, are there children in there because it's freezing out? That's not taking good care of your kids, eh? We were called fringe minorities, and I could go on and on. Canada was not the greatest place to be during the pandemic. I'm sure there's places in the world that were worse, like Australia, like China. But yeah, I feel like the true authoritarian nature of the Liberal Party and Trudeau specifically was revealed during that time, and it was one of many reasons that I was more than happy to come to Portugal. So I would talk to you more freely and openly in person. Um, Again, I am not burning my Canadian passport over everything that happened. I'm happy to be here in Portugal. My family sends me pictures of the snow, and I much prefer sitting out here in flip flops and shorts. And I would rather not be in Niagara or in Canada, anywhere right now. There's nowhere in Canada that I personally would like to be. And unless there's some reason that I have to go back, as I said before, I don't plan on going back. I understand that people get sick, somebody might die, there might be a wedding, there might be some legal reason I have to go back. But outside of those like 4 reasons, I really would rather not. All that being said, you know that I have proposed to Desiree and she has said yes. She said yes, thankfully. And I wanted to give the opportunity to the folks who watch the Morning Banana Show that if you wanted to give us a wedding gift, I would accept them. For people who we're inviting, which you can imagine is going to be a pretty long list, we have like 3 different Airbnbs that we have to take. We have this whole venue. We have the venue that we're going to be doing the ceremony at. There's a lot of people that we have to invite, and we're bringing in people from all over. I have a wedding planner. It's going to be a pretty epic thing that Desiree and I are going to love. And so I feel like a lot of people who might be interested or want to come might be a little bit let down that they're not going to be able to make it. And we're telling them the same as we'll tell you, that I don't need a toaster. I don't need a microwave. The things I need, most people are not going to be able to help with. So, for example, I would like a Toyota Helix. That's on my list of things to buy. And a new tiny home, or a new home that's on wheels, like a movable home that is like epic. We've seen a lot of epic ones. And then I also want 2 or 3 single unit tiny homes. All these things that I just mentioned are going to cost quite a bit of money. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you want to help, the best way to help or give us a wedding gift is financially. And I hate to be the guy that that says that, but it really is the truth in our case. Like, what I don't really need any. You know what I do need actually is a sugar cane juicer. So if you have a used one or a new one, I'll take it. You can look us up at Love Farm Stay. You can ship things to us. We have a Cash Postal. I'm not hard to find. You can reach out and get whatever information that you want. But those are the things that we would really appreciate off the top. So we're asking people that come to the wedding in September for... The wedding is planned for September, by the way. We're asking people for just cash or donations or gifts, financial gifts that way. So you can send an e-transfer to adam@adamjosh.com, and the subject can be like wedding. You can buy one of these shirts. I feel like we make it easy to donate to us. You can buy one of these shirts, one of my Do Not Reincarnate t-shirts, in the link in the description of the video, and also on adamjosh.com on the shop section. I wrote a book about investing, and you can pre-order it. I am still trying to find a brick and mortar physical print shop that can print a physical book here in Portugal or Spain. I'm broadening out my horizons to Spain. I think that's kind of where it's at. Maybe some of you who are watching this are like, when is this book going to drop, Adam? The thing is, I could make it an ebook and give it to you now. I could dictate it over the phone or over WhatsApp. It is a real book that I've really printed, or that I've really written out. but I want to do a physical book where I give it to you myself, sign it, and hand it to you. I don't want to do an ebook. That's not where my head is at. I am not delusional enough to think that I'm going to be a multi-millionaire best-selling author off of this book, my first book. So that being said, I'll print a limited run of maybe 100 copies. We'll sell those, and then I'll do another run. That's my plan. At this point, I have no issue buying 100 copies of my own book and then reselling it. Like buying 100 copies from the print shop and then reselling it to you guys when you order it. That's my plan. I have not seen any reason to order anything more at this point. And it'll be on my website, and if people want to pick it up or a publisher reads it and says, oh, wow, this is a great book, I've copywritten everything, so they'll have to go through a copyright, or they'll have to go through a lawyer, or they can come to me directly, and we'll do it that way to print the book elsewhere. So you can order the book, pre-order the book, and you can be on a list with a few other people where I will mail you the first hard copy of the book. That's one way to financially donate. Another way is to buy me a coffee. The link is just buymeacoffee.com. And I drink a lot of coffee. In fact, I just ran out. So I asked Desiree to go get me some more. I drink a coffee on the Morning Banana Show. I eat a banana. So if you bought me a coffee, you know, it'd be like a full circle moment for the Morning Banana Show fans. This is the last bite of the banana. I'm going to eat the oranges and then we'll wrap the show up. Good news for banana fan, the Banana Bunch, Mark. Shout out to Mark. When I was at Orchard of Flavors and picked up this and many other of these giant papayas, I asked him, hey, do you have plantains here or musas for cooking bananas? And he said, yeah, they're right over here. He brought me over. The price was reasonable. He said he would give me a seedling about yay high for 20, like a pup plant for about 20 euros. So Mark donated something like 18 euros with the intent that I would get a plantain and plant it in the ground. I've dug the hole beside Desiree's new veggie bed up there, and it's prepped and ready, but Miguel, who is like top-notch academic botanist, infamous worldwide, this guy, people come from all over. You think I'm joking, but people come from Israel, from India, from Pakistan. I met a guy there from Saudi Arabia. People come from America, from Canada, from Britain, Australia. We talk to people from Australia there. People come from all over to see this guy. And we're here maybe like an hour west of him. And people come to our farm and they're like, oh, this farm is so great. And the farm stay is so great. You're doing a fruit forest here and yada, yada, yada. And Desiree and I are like, guys, you have no idea. Like, thank you for the compliment, but you should visit our friend Orchard of Flavors. We learn a lot from fellow farmers, and Miguel is one of them. And he likes to, I think his niche is, he's a French guy. His niche is to grow like exotic plants. If somebody says that you can't grow it, he wants to prove that you can grow it in the Algarve. He is how I discovered pineapple guava. I like to give people their flowers while they're alive. I've told him in person, hey man, we love you. I just want you to know that, you know? And I think he knows lots of people love him. Like, he's a very, like, yeah, of course, you love me. He's a French guy, you know? Of course, everybody loves me. Look at the plants, you know? He's kind of humble, but also, like, you know, he knows what's up. He's got a really, really great place in Tavira, and I hope that if nothing else, you watch this video and go check it out one day. You can go on Google Maps right now, and you'll see he's got some prices there for a tour. He has all different types of tours. So some of his models of pricing and education, some of that we're trying to adopt here. You know, I went to a couple of his workshops, and we're trying to implement many of the things. In fact, the banana circle that you're in right now, you're in my banana circle, was inspired by his banana circle, except as he knows, we did ours inverted. So the compost at his banana circle is in the middle. Right now, I have my tripod and my table, and basically people sit in the middle, And then the compost is going around the outside with the vetiver, papaya, and banana in my banana circle. So there's 3 things in this banana circle: papaya, banana, obviously, and vetiver. And that's how I want to leave it. And this is going to grow to be like a crazy fruit forest here. So I don't know how I got off on that side jag. Yeah, you can donate money like Mark did and plant a tree here if you want to offset your carbon footprint, if you're thinking about carbon sequestering, if you're thinking about helping towards a brighter future, these type of things. It really depends on your motivation for planting trees, right? But I'll facilitate the planting if you want, just like I'm doing for Mark. Miguel said while I was there, I would give you the Musa plant now, the plantain now, but it's honestly, Adam, leave it with me. It's better that you take it in May and plant it in May. You'll have better luck. I know that you have a nice hole to put it in, and we'll get some fertilizer and soil and whatnot. He's stuck on the cow manure and chicken manure. Obviously, we don't do that, so I have veggie compost and veggie scraps, and we buy some vegan soil mix, which is the best we can do as vegans. Which is one of the exciting things about our farm stay, is that we're tied and obligated to the ethics of veganism on our farm. So people come here and they're like, yeah, but how are you growing any of this stuff without cow poop or sheep poop or goat poop or chicken poop? And we're like, this is how we're doing it. We're doing it without those things. So Mark, for example, sent me a donation over Buy Me a Coffee to the tune of something like 18 euros. And then I am going to give that money to Miguel. And I'm going to pick up a Musa plant and plant it. And so it's a win-win for everyone. Miguel wins, I win. I'm going to be eating the plant. And then, Mark, whenever he visits, can have some, and he'll feel good about his carbon footprint and making the earth a better place because he planted a banana. I'm all about those 360 wins, If that's something that you're interested in, I can do that for you. Like I said, if you want to come to the wedding, but you don't think you're going to make it, or if you just are happy to celebrate Desiree and Adam finally getting married and support my fiance and I on our journey, my fiance and me, myself, and I on our 4-person journey or 6-person journey, then you have the kids, right? So it's me, myself, and I, her, herself, and she, plus our kids. It's a lot of people going on here. It's a whole crowd. But if you feel like supporting us, I would appreciate it. And I'll take your donations to Buy Me a Coffee, /AdamJosh.com, or an e-transfer. Or like I said, we make it easy. You can buy a shirt in pink. You can buy this in black. You can buy it in blue or white, as shown. You can just get, if you're in North America, like Canada, you can send e-transfers to Adam at AdamJosh.com and say wedding in the subject. So I'm trying to make it easier for you. I appreciate it. I'll tell Desiree, any donation I get, I'll say, hey, look, we got this much money from so-and-so. I'm sure she'll be thankful and express it as well in her own way. All that being said, I feel like it's going to be a great day, great 2025. I'm excited about Canada's future, and I hope the best for Canada. Here from the hillside of Portugal. Take care, everybody. I hope that you have a great day. And I hope that your 2025 is super blessed and everything you've ever wanted, not needed, but wanted, you get in 2025. Take care. Bye-bye.